Workplace violence. In this session, we will discuss the main types of workplace violence and then deep dive into what workplace violence is. And finally, I will finish off with 6 steps to mitigate risk associated with workplace violence. Hi, my name is Gary Marsh, and this is your Safetyology Talk. Let's start off with some statistics. Fatalities due to workplace violence are on the rise. In 2019, there was 841 workers who were killed due to workplace violence. 70% of all of assaults were against women, and 80% of the deaths were men. Those numbers are staggering and hard to fathom if you've never witnessed workplace violence before. What is workplace violence anyway? Well, it's any threat or act of harassment, intimidation, dangerous disruptive behavior, or even physical violence. Workplace violence is a threat to business in that a person will cause it. It can be coworkers, contractors, customers, and even former employees. It can also happen pretty much anywhere and at any time. And by the way, if you keep hearing the sniffs, it's my dog. Things can manifest and get out of control pretty quickly. A verbal assault can end in homicide in a blink of an eye. The fallout can cause serious physical and mental harm to employees, and there are 4 basic categories of workplace violence that you need to be concerned with. Number 1 is criminal intent, and is crimes committed against a business and its property. Usually the people committing the crime have no relationship with the business or employees for that matter. Number 2 is customer-client. Either one can become violent while interacting. The best example would be healthcare workers and patients, or even waiters and patrons. Number 3, worker on worker can often happen when a dispute breaks out. One worker feels they are being mistreated or treated unfairly. And number 4, personal relationship. This one's really tricky. Women are overwhelmingly victims in this category. Where are most homicides? Although they can happen literally anywhere, retail workers, service providers, and government workers top the list currently. Businesses are all affected differently by violent acts. It's dependent on each business's risk factors. Factors include, but are definitely not limited to, money and working with the public, who can be unstable and volatile people. You just never know who's showing up at the front door. Another statistic for you that I forgot to mention a few, minutes ago is there are currently about 25,000 assaults in the workplace each year. It's important we know what our risk factors are. How people are treated is the number 1 risk factor we have total control over. How we treat each other and those who enter our world should be treated with dignity and respect. You treat people well, and that changes the statistics. Okay. There are 6 steps you can take to combat workplace violence. It's all our responsibility, and we all have a right to a safe environment to work. But business owners and leaders must take these steps in order to help their teams manage situations. Step 1, create a workplace violence prevention program. These types of policies can include, the most common types of workplace violence, things like non-discrimination, racial or sexual harassment, drug and alcohol use, and of course, safety procedures will follow in this. Also, everyone should have access to all procedures no matter what their level in the company is. A complaint process should also be established and communicated to everyone too. You should have a zero tolerance policy, and that means violent behavior will not be tolerated in the workplace in any shape or form. Step 2, assess and improve physical security. Employers need to conduct risk analysis to understand potential vulnerabilities that could be exploited to gain access to the areas of operation. You need to ensure exterior areas are well lit to deter and detect potential intruders. You also need to pay attention to the property's dark zones. Add surveillance cameras to vulnerable areas, and data security is also something we will have to, we're all at stake, right, when it comes to data security. Ensure all sensitive data is secure no matter what. Step 3, limit access to non-employees. Employers should limit visitors who have no business being on site to help avoid violence entering the workplace from outside. This is what is called preventing crimes of opportunity. A great example is leaving the door open to keep cool. Working while you're working at night, and it's not really a huge problem here in the Pacific Northwest. However, I do find myself always leaving a couple of doors open. Are you serious right now? I'm trying to film a video and you're growling at me. This dog. So, like I was saying, it's not a big issue here in the Pacific Northwest, but like myself, I really enjoy having the cool breeze come through the door in the evening hours, and we do it at home as well too. So I'm pretty sure here Augie wouldn't allow someone to just stroll on in, but when you're at work, you might have that issue. Step 4, train employees on situational awareness. Hey, that's another thing. You could have a dog at work too. That's a good deterrent. Employees should have a better understanding of the threat of intruders and the very real risk they present. Everyone should be reporting any and all suspicious activity. When this is said, though, most will ask, who should I notify? You should be notifying supervisors, managers, and other company leadership. Step 5, ensure lone workers are protected. Lone workers like mechanics, welders, and even commercial divers should be equipped with life-saving technology. Look for modern, mobile-friendly software that's designed to enhance lone worker safety, and especially when it's in a life-threatening or dangerous situation. If at all possible, have your employees work in teams of 2 or more. That way, if someone does get hurt or there is an attack, at least there is someone there to help or get help. And finally, step 6, communicate effectively. Relating critical information is vital in preventing workplace violence. Make sure teams meet regularly to discuss their work and to air any unresolved tensions or disagreements. By doing so, employees can ease strained relationships that might one day erupt into workplace violence. Okay, let me leave you with some final thoughts. You may never deal with workplace violence, but you should be ready for it and have a plan in place to prevent it or at least limit it. Take steps now to mitigate the risk of danger to you and all those around you. It will improve the overall safety of your chosen workplace. That's all, folks. Thank you, and let's build a better and safer place to work. Bye. Okay, before I leave, I just wanted to mention my book, Safetyology, The Art and Science of Developing Safety in Your Business. I spent 1.5 years developing this book, and this book is a step-by-step getting your safety program in place. And it is a must for small business and even newer safety professionals in the company. This thing is going to be a savior for you. So get my book over at Amazon today. Look for Safetyology, The Art and Science of Developing Safety in Your Business. Thank you. The trick for businesses is to know your risk factors and where our most